the quiet guardian of Willow Creek. Ethan Hale had always loved silence. His home, nestled at the edge of the valley near Willow Creek Estates, stood like a watchtower overlooking the rippling lake his dam had created. He wasn't just a homeowner. He was a builder, an engineer, and a man with a past no one in the neighborhood truly knew. 10 years earlier, Ethan had lost his wife, Lily, in a flash flood while they were traveling through a mountain pass. The water had come suddenly, unforgivingly, sweeping away their car before his eyes. He survived, but Lily didn't. Since that day, Ethan swore never again to let water take lives if he could help it. So he built a dam, solid, reliable, and beautiful. It wasn't just a structure, it was Lily's memorial. It powered his home, fed the nearby ecosystem, and quietly protected the neighborhood below from seasonal floods. But over time, as the area grew and a homeowners association, HOA, formed around Willow Creek Estates, Ethan's land became their irritation. His property wasn't part of their development, but the dam sat close enough that it affected the community view, according to HOA President Karen Whitmore. Karen was precise, polished, and power-hungry, the kind of woman who treated her HOA title as if she were mayor of a small nation. She called Ethan non-compliant, even though his land legally existed outside their jurisdiction. To her, Ethan represented rebellion, and rebellion had to be managed. At the monthly HOA meeting, Karen's voice rang sharp. That unsightly wall of stone doesn't belong near our community. We're paying for scenic beauty, not to stare at a man's personal project. Some nodded. Others hesitated. The HOA's treasurer, Paul Jenkins, whispered, "Karen, that dam prevents flooding every year. Without it, this whole valley could." She cut him off. "It's illegal construction. I've already contacted the county." And thus, the slow-motion war between Ethan Hale and the Willow Creek HOA began. The notice on the gate. A week later, Ethan found it. A red envelope, stapled right to his wooden gate. Final notice. Demolition approved, noncompliance, and unpaid HOA fees. He read it twice, then a third time, not believing what he saw. Unpaid fees? He'd never even joined their HOA. Ethan drove straight to the HOA office, a spotless glass building at the center of Willow Creek Estates. The air conditioning blasted cold as he entered, contrasting the fury heating his face. Karen sat behind her desk, a perfect smile fixed beneath sharp eyes. "Mr. Hale," she said sweetly, "I was expecting you." Ethan placed a stack of documents in front of her. "These are the county permits for my dam. It was approved 10 years ago, long before this HOA existed. You have no jurisdiction." Karen barely glanced at the papers. "Mr. Hale, the dam affects community water flow, according to subsection 9C of our environmental compliance rules." He interrupted, voice firm. "Your subsection doesn't apply to private property outside your border." Karen leaned back, tapping her pen. "Maybe not today, but after next month's annexation vote, your land will fall under HOA limits. It's only fair you start contributing now." Ethan's jaw tightened. "You're blackmailing me." Her smile didn't waver. "I'm ensuring harmony." He left, slamming the door, papers trembling in his hands. As he walked past a few residents, some looked away, others gave faint nods of sympathy. But none spoke. Everyone in Willow Creek knew better than to challenge Karen Whitmore. That night, Ethan stood by the dam again, the moon reflecting on its smooth surface. He whispered, "They don't understand, Lily. This isn't about water. It's about control." The creek whispered back, silent and knowing. The demolition day. It was 6 a.m. when Ethan woke to the sound of engines. The ground vibrated beneath his cabin. He rushed outside to find bulldozers lined up near his fence. Men in orange vests, hired contractors, were setting charges and shouting directions. Karen stood nearby, clipboard in hand, sunglasses glinting in the early sun. Ethan sprinted toward her. "Stop this right now. You don't have permission. That structure is legally mine." Karen didn't flinch. "We gave you 30 days' notice. You refused to comply. You can settle any legal dispute after we're done here." He held up his papers. "You'll flood the entire valley. You'll put people's homes at risk. But she turned to her foreman and said, "Proceed." Ethan watched helplessly as they drilled into the dam's lower wall. The sound of breaking stone was like thunder. The air filled with dust and the smell of wet earth. Water began to seep, thin at first, then stronger, like veins bursting beneath the surface. One of the workers shouted, "Ma'am, pressure's too high. We need to stop." Karen barked back, "Finish it." And then, it happened. A sharp crack, followed by a roar that silenced everyone. The damaged section gave way, sending a torrent of water surging through the spillway. The crew scrambled back as the current tore into the ground, pulling equipment and debris with it. Karen's perfect smile finally vanished. Ethan stared, numb, as his life's work crumbled before him. He had warned them. He had begged them. And now the dam, the symbol of Lily's memory, was gone. As the last stones tumbled into the rushing stream, a storm cloud rumbled in the distance, the kind that only comes once in a decade. Nature had just been unchained. The storm that changed everything. That evening, the skies turned black. Lightning forked across the hills. Rain began to fall, first softly, then with merciless force. Ethan stood on the ridge above his property, flashlight in hand, watching the valley below. Without the dam, there was nothing left to hold the surge back. The creek overflowed, water rushing toward the neighborhood below. Down in Willow Creek Estates, panic erupted. Roads turned into rivers. The manicured lawns, the white fences, the elegant cul-de-sacs, all vanished beneath swirling brown water. Karen's mansion, built on what was once safe ground, sat in the direct path of the flood. She ran from room to room, trying to call emergency services, but the power was gone, and the phones were dead. Ethan, despite everything, grabbed his old raft and flashlight, pushing through the current to help trapped families. He found Paul Jenkins clinging to a balcony and pulled him to safety. "You shouldn't be here," Paul gasped. "Someone has to be," Ethan replied. House after house fell silent under the storm. Ethan guided people toward higher ground, his body aching, his mind spinning between anger and duty. At one point, he saw Karen standing waist-deep in water near her front gate, shivering, clutching her purse like it could save her. Their eyes met, and for the first time, her arrogance was gone. Ethan extended his hand. She hesitated, then took it. Together, they climbed to the ridge. By morning, Willow Creek Estates was a wasteland. Broken fences, shattered glass, silence. And at the bottom of the valley, where his dam once stood, only fragments remained, but the water had carved a new path, flowing freely through the ruins. The aftermath of silence. Days later, helicopters hovered above what the news called the Willow Creek disaster. Reporters spoke of unprecedented flooding and a shocking case of HOA negligence. Investigators soon found everything: the unauthorized demolition order, the ignored safety warnings, and Ethan's valid permits. Karen's face appeared on every channel, no longer as the HOA's queen, but as its downfall. Lawsuits flooded in faster than the creek ever did. The HOA dissolved within weeks. When the chaos ended, Ethan returned to his property. Where the dam once stood, he began planting lilies, willows, and small oak trees. A garden grew there, soft and green, with a simple wooden sign that read, "For Lily, and for those who learned too late." One afternoon, a young boy from the neighborhood came by with his mother. The boy asked, "Why did you save them, even after what they did to you?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Because I built that dam to protect people, not to punish them. If I forgot that, I'd lose more than just water." The boy nodded. The wind blew gently across the valley, carrying the sound of flowing water. As the sun set behind the ridge, the reflection shimmered where the dam once stood. Not a scar, but a symbol of renewal. And Ethan Hale, the quiet guardian of Willow Creek, finally felt peace.